The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Now up to bat, World Baseball Classic winners and losers. For the next minute or so, I'll try my best to keep some of these explanations brief, but we're going to toss around some winners and some losers that we've had of this World Baseball Classic. And I'm going to start with my first one, the biggest one in my eyes, Trea Turner. This is a guy, everybody who's listened to this show knows, I have been highly critical of Trea Turner throughout his career, based largely around the fact that here's a guy with this superstar talent that has never really, it's not that he hasn't shown it, but he's never blossomed into the face of a team. He certainly wasn't the face of the Dodgers. He somehow got passed up by Tony Rendon to be the face of that Nationals team, which feels inexplicable when you look at Tony Rendon. And
hey, Tony.
And so I largely doubted. I'm like, is this guy truly just, all talent and no production? Like, he has to, show something in the big minutes. And then all of a sudden he came out in this tournament like gangbusters. This was a real chance for people to get true eyes on him. It was a chance for me, even though I've watched him so many times, to really focus in on him. And what a tournament was, what fun it was to watch him. My perspective on Trea Turner, total shift from a year ago, from a month ago. A month ago, I'd still be making those same takes. Overrated, kind of just a speed merchant out there to an extent. But now we go back a couple days ago, I drafted him 10th overall in my fantasy draft. Like, that wouldn't have happened come a month earlier. That's what the type of thing that a tournament like this can do for a guy.
Yeah, I agree. Trea Turner would have been one of my picks. We already touched on Shohei Ohtani. We don't need to, go over what he did. He had the most innings pitched, the most plate appearances, won best pitcher, best hitter, tournament MVP. We know that. LJ, my guy, how about Randy Arozarena? I mean, he, in the big moment, in the big games, this guy is unbelievable. His career playoff stats in the MLB are ridiculous. Of course, remember what he did in that 2020 World Series and really that whole playoffs. And then this tournament, 20 at-bats, a 1.5 OPS, 450 batting average, 607 on-base percentage, more walks than strikeouts. LJ, like, I know I don't want to throw anything out there, but if you were making an all clutch team in the MLB, it's you got to put Randy Arozarena on there. He is just such a proven track record of in the big games showing up.
Yeah, and that's going to get you paid too. It doesn't, yes, your regular season record matters.
He's also very good in the regular season.
He's
as well.
good. He goes from very good to great in that difference, and that's what ultimately will get a guy paid. He 100% had a huge, plus for his legacy, being able to say, baseball, it's such an individual sport that you don't get this argument, but it's still always in the back of your head. Is this more of a team thing that he's getting put into these positions to come up big with the Rays, or is this a him thing? And then all of a sudden you go and see him perform just as good as he ever has in the playoffs with the Rays, if not better, with Mexico. That's just big stuff. This man officially has developed the reputation, and you fear that sombrero now.
Oh yeah, I mean that was so cool when he walked out there pregame with the sombrero on. Come on, man, it's awesome.
Now my loser here before we wrap up, Nike.
Okay.
You knew this had to come up. That Great Britain jersey might have been the worst jersey I've ever seen. Like I have some issues with jerseys in this tournament, mainly Adidas ripping off the Boston City Connect jersey for Venezuela. It's the exact same thing, exact same font. Go look at the two side by side. It's honestly ridiculous. But this is even worse because it looks like they tried to go for this, let's go with the good old classic, old time baseball jersey. And then they forgot that they had to do it for months on end and then just screen printed some words onto the front of a shirt.
That looks like the jersey when you like go to your local like sports store and you're like, hey, like we lost the jerseys, like we need some jerseys for our game in like 4 hours. And they're like, okay, Arial font, boom, throw it on the front of a gray jersey.
Brandon, this is when you go into if MLB The Show had Create a Club, this would be the opening jersey before you design the actual jersey.
Oh, they do. In a Diamond Dynasty mode,
Yeah,
you get to
okay.
you start with your plain jersey, and that is it looks very similar.
Exactly. And it's such a shame that they got stuck with this. I mean, it's shame on Nike because this was a massive tournament for Great Britain in terms of getting respect for the sport from both the government and from the fan base that they're trying to create in Great Britain. And they did everything in their power to be successful with that from their play on the field. And then you look at them and it looks like a joke as they're doing it because their jerseys are so horrendous. Like, that's the disappointment, is it takes away from everything they did on the field, because what they did on the field, if we had more time, they would have been my second winner, because here's a team that needs to be successful and win games here to both build their fan base and get funding for their program so they can continue to build their fan base. And they came out and did more than they needed to be successful in this tournament. And we still have to talk about this.
My loser, and I hate to do this because I love watching this guy play, but I think it's gonna be Julio Rodriguez, unfortunately. Just won Rookie of the Year, but struck out 9 times and
struck out 9 times in 8 appearances. Brandon has appeared to have some technical difficulties, and he's back.
I don't know what just happened. Yeah, Julio Rodriguez.
StreamYard hated your take so much.
Yeah, it literally just like kicked me
Really?
out. I don't know what happened. Yeah, LJ, 9 strikeouts and 18 at bats to go along with the Dominican Republic team that struck out in 29% of all their plate appearances as a team. Yeah, not the best showing from him.
No, it's disappointing. But that's part of the nature of this tournament, I guess, is not everyone is primed to start the season. We are talking about, mind you, and I'll be interested to see if this is a pattern going forward. Julio Rodriguez had an awful start to the year last year.
Yes, that's right.
Part of it was him getting absolutely gypped by the umps. Like, those spray charts of where he got called for strike 3 was ridiculous. But I think part of it might be that this guy's eye does not catch up as quick as you'd expect it to. Like, once you get him to May, June, and he's going to take off running and be an MVP candidate this year. But there's a decent argument to say, should we be worried about April Julio Rodriguez?
And that stuff we'll be able to get to on our show on Wednesday and of course Thursday as well. But yeah, LJ, you have anything else, or?
No, I'm very excited for this new opportunity. Give you guys a ton of more fun new content, and we're glad that you're here with us on the ride. So in the meantime, if you haven't, we of course are in the middle of the rebrand across all of our accounts to @TheBob, the BOB, the batting order beat. @TheBob Belly Up is our new handle. It is currently on Twitter. It will be on Instagram, TikTok. We'll figure out. We might end up with a new YouTube, but we will, of course, keep people posted on that as we go. And so, go hype us up if you liked this first episode of the new show. It would mean a lot.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you Wednesday.
See ya.